It's Piu over at 12 with Tarot. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing the third video in our series comparing RWS decks to non-RWS decks, and we will be dealing with the cup suit. So the decks I have in front of me are This Might Hurt, which is a mass market deck by Isabella Rotman. I have the Borderless Centennial, and as always, my non-RWS deck is Mystical Moments. I also have the Dark Mansion Tarot by Taroteca Studio, which is an independent deck, but I will be using it sparingly in between as and when the images make sense and I have something to say. Our first card for the day is the Ace of Cups. Now, the RWS Ace of Cups shows a hand offering a cup which through the clouds, which is overflowing with water into a pond or a lake filled with beautiful lotus flowers, and you see a dove in both the cards. This is a card of, for me, like when your heart is so full that you feel like you can't contain your joy. This is that level of blessing. It could be a new connection, a new relationship, but it is, for me, this just, my heart overflows is what I see when I see this image. In Mystical Moments, we have a very similar vibe where we have a woman holding a cup and there's almost a burst of butterflies. But if you notice carefully, her gaze is fixed on this, her gaze is fixed on this teeny tiny butterfly at the bottom. And that's what stands out to me in this card, that our blessings can be obvious, they can also be really tiny, and we have to learn to appreciate both kinds. Our next card is the Two of Cups, which is about forming new connections. Between the Centennial Borderless and This Might Hurt, we see a certain difference. The Centennial looks more as a partnership, whereas This Might Hurt gives more of a romantic vibe to the Two of Cups, which is not always how I like to read it. Interestingly enough, This Might Hurt, they look like twins or two women. They're two women separate, but they look very similar to each other. What holds my attention in this card is, however, the intertwining of these stems. Their bond is intricate. Their bond is interwoven over years, and it is strong and stable. Maybe not as new. That's what I see in these Two of Cups. Then we move on to the Three of Cups. Now, the Three of Cups is a card of celebration, a card of joy, a card of joy found from your community, found from people different from you. I like the fact that everybody has a unique perspective when I see the Three of Cups. In Mystical Moments, the Three of Cups is three women who are interconnected through this hula hoop that they have around them. And to, be hula hoop dancers, you need great coordination, you need technique, you need skill, and you need great partnerships. And that's what comes through for me in this Three of Cups. Then we come to the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups from the Rider-Waite-Smith is kind of tricky sometimes. You can see this as someone who is depressed, you can see it as someone who is meditating, you could see it as someone who's pensive. In This Might Hurt, I see this woman as she's meditating, she is comfortable, her emotions are stable. I see this more as emotional stability and centeredness than maybe the discomfort of a stalemate that I see in this card. In the Four of Cups from Mystical Moments, it's very clear There is a bird holding an umbrella for this woman, shielding her from the rain, but she is so lost in her thoughts. She looks a little, her eyes are downturned, that she cannot even see that she is being protected. There is a certain element of missing out when your focus is elsewhere that I see in this card. Moving on to the next card, the Five of Cups. Now, the Five of Cups deals with grief with a silver lining. It's very similar in the Centennial and This Might Hurt. You see the body posture, the downturned shoulder, bowed head. In mystical moments, you see a woman holding a stick with 2 blooming flowers and 3 flowers are floating away. The sense of being able to grieve and let go is something that I get from this card. The sense that yes, there is loss, but you can let it sort of float away in the water. And I find that to be a very calming card, personally. In this image to be, very calming. Six of Cups. Six of Cups is about memories, it's about nostalgia. Usually we see children in the card. The Six of Cups in mystical moments is very interesting. We see a figure and she's growing leaves in her hair, and you see 3 little figures in front of her and they're releasing balloons. It almost seems as though there's this woman lying in this garden reminiscing of the good old times. But there's also a sense of be aware that if you stay there for too long, you can get lost in the weeds. I get both sides from this card, and I find that to be amazing. Then we come to the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is often a struggle to choose. You see options, you see the mix of awe and confusion on the character's face. Mystical moment, Seven of Swords, we see a woman in the clouds, her point pointing to a star. And I've also always struggled with this card. It doesn't give me the sense of choice or the confusion. It gives me a sense of being lost, almost. And that's what I pull from this card. If you have a better interpretation or a more fleshed out interpretation, I am happy for you to participate. Please drop it down in the comments below while I move on to the next card. And the next card is the Eight of Cups. Now, the Eight of Cups is about, for me, leaving behind a situation that was not emotionally fulfilling. Here the cups are stacked, here they're broken. The figure is moving in the same direction in both cards. In the Eight of Cups in mystical moments, she is walking a path and you see pairs of creatures around her, but she's the only one without a pair. And she's walking through this path towards the forest. There is a sense of sadness to this card that I feel, because the scene is so beautiful and every other being, creature on this card is so happy. I feel the sense of lost vibe that she must feel. This is me absolutely projecting into the card, but here we are. Then comes the Nine of Cups. This is your Rider-Waite-Smith Nine of Cups. We see a man in a, again, forward-facing, confident pose in front of 9 cups. I absolutely adore the Nine of Cups from This Might Hurt. You see a man working on his craft, creating beautiful yet unique items. And he looks like he's focused on his job. He's happy. He's satisfied. The Nine of Cups from mystical moments, again, it stumps me. It reminds me more of the Nine of Pentacles, because she is in armor. That's what catches my eye in this card. I see the lush flowers, I see the 9 cups, but I see her armor. And that makes me take a pause. Can you truly allow yourself to be content in this moment? Is the question this card poses to me. Then we come to the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is the peak of bliss. Fleeting, but the peak of bliss. And even in the mystical moments, you see you see a man and a woman, you see that they're creatures under the water, you see a little fish family, and you see a rainbow. There's a sense of comfort to this card. There is joy, but there is a sense of comfort, like they've been together a long time. They've held each other through the thick and thin of life. And we come to the courts. The Page of Cups is, first of all, so cute and smiley at his little fish. He looks like he wants to have a conversation with this fish. He wants to find out what fishy life is all about. The Page of Cups from mystical moments, very much a woman looking at a fish coming out of her cup, but look, her expression is again more contemplative. And that gives me a sense of an inner question that she's asked. She's not ready to vocalize it quite yet. Then we come to the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is someone who leads with their heart first. And maybe not always the best thing, but it is what the Knight of Cups does. In mystical moments, you see a woman playing a stringed instrument, which is also an anatomical heart, and sitting in a lotus. And this is a very Indian image. So it really, to me, has multiple layers of meaning. Maybe not all of which I will even be able to express here. But for sure, I see a softness to her. But then I also see her ability to play with the strings of your heart. My camera, sorry, yeah. I see her ability to, pluck the strings of your heart. She is enchanting. The Knight of Cups is not short on charm. Then we come to the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups in the Rider-Waite-Smith is looking at her cup, which is closed. The Queen is the nurturing mother. In This Might Hurt, we see the Queen as someone who is looking down at a cup with a very calm smile on her face. She is sitting at a beach, the water is lapping at the chair, she has a little crown on her head. She gives me "you can trust me" vibes. The Queen of Cups in mystical moments is part sea creature. She's hugging a seahorse, she's on a shell. Her hair, which are also tentacles, are like floating in the water. She is immersed in water. She is literally underwater. She is immersed in emotion. Her emotions are ocean deep. And she has the ability to hold your emotions as well. That's my interpretation for the Queen of Cups. Lastly, we come to the King of Cups. And in the King of Cups, in the Rider-Waite-Smith, we see a man on a platform floating on water, a little ship, a little fish jumping, and he's holding a cup. His expression is very neutral, it's very placid. In This Might Hurt, we see an older gentleman on a boat. I see the waves, I see the fish that talk about rough emotions up and down, but his expression is what steals the show. He looks at peace with himself. He's content. These waves aren't bothering him. The leaping fish aren't bothering him. He is content. He is rowing. He is not someone who is easily perturbed. This is the King of Cups for mystical moments that I have chosen, and is the only female representation of a king that I chose in the deck, because looky, they make such a great pair. The King of Cups in this is the king of the seas, and the king of all emotions. You see the waves, you see the ship, you see her holding the ship, you see her hair as tentacles. Again, that feeling of being, she's not placid, but she's not perturbed. She has, it's not as though, when I say the king of emotions, I don't mean that nothing bad ever happens, nothing good ever happens. But she has equanimity. And I see that in this card. I see power and I see equanimity. Okay guys, that's a wrap on the cups. I hope to see you next time for the Suit of Swords. And I really hope you're enjoying this. Bye.